Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're really digging into what the evidence says about longevity and, well, looking good as we age. We're calling it the hierarchical formula.
That's right, because the sources you sent over, they all point to one thing. Aging isn't simple. It's, genomic instability, NAD plus decline. Lots going on.
Exactly. So you can't just slap on one miracle cream and call it a day.
No way. It's multifactorial. That's why we need this tiered approach. The basic idea, the premise, is that the foundational stuff, your lifestyle, your systemic health, isn't just additive. It's multiplicative.
Multiplicative. Okay, so getting the foundations right makes everything else work better.
Exponentially better, yeah.
Yeah.
Optimize that internal environment first.
All right, let's break down that foundation then. These are the big levers, the highest ROI things you can do, starting with photo protection.
Absolutely non-negotiable. It's your primary intercept. Sun exposure is, hands down, the biggest controllable driver of what we call extrinsic aging.
So daily SPF, that's the baseline.
Daily broad spectrum SPF 30 minimum. Seriously, if you're not doing that, nothing else matters quite as much for the skin side of things. You just can't outrun sun damage.
Got it. Okay, next pillar, exercise. But not just any exercise, right?
Grr.
The sources stressed a kind of dual regimen.
Yeah, this is key. It's not just about getting your heart rate up. You need both aerobic exercise and resistance exercise for maximizing what we call health span.
Explain that difference. Why both?
Okay, so aerobic running, swimming, that kind of thing, that's crucial for cardiovascular health, for actual lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
But resistance training, lifting weights, that's what keeps you functional.
Functional independence.
Exactly. Maintaining bone density, preventing sarcopenia, that's the muscle loss that really hits quality of life as you get older. You need both working together.
Makes sense. And then metabolically, caloric restriction or CR. This came up a lot. It's more than just weight, isn't it? It acts like a specific switch.
That's the really cool biological insight, yeah. CR is so effective, so geroprotective, because it specifically turns down the PLA2G7 gene.
PLA2G7. Why is that important?
Because that gene drives systemic inflammation, and we know chronic inflammation is like a root cause for so many age-related diseases, so suppressing it. Big anti-inflammatory pro-longevity effect.
Okay, foundation set. Now the topicals. The gold standards. Retinoids, specifically tretinoin FDA, approved for photo aging. Everyone kind of knows about it, but there's a catch.
Always a catch, right? Look, the efficacy is undeniable. We're talking like up to 75% improvement in wrinkles in some studies. That's huge. But it comes with the highest rate of side effects. About 25%, a quarter of users report irritation, redness, peeling. It can be rough, especially at first.
So you weigh the results against the potential hassle. What about vitamin C? Another big one.
Huge. Great antioxidant, boosts collagen. But the formulation is everything. This is the real aha moment for a lot of people.
Meaning it can be unstable.
Highly unstable. L-ascorbic acid degrades super fast with air and light. To work, to actually penetrate your skin, it needs to be in a formula with a really low acidic pH, think around 3.5.
Wow, that's specific.
And stabilized, often with things like ferulic acid. If it's not formulated correctly, you're basically paying for, well, not much.
Okay, so if retinoids are too irritating and vitamin C needs careful formulation, what else works well topically, maybe with fewer issues?
That's where we look at barrier support and signaling. Things like ceramides and hyaluronic acid rebuild the skin's foundation. And peptides, they're generally well tolerated.
And peptides signal collagen production.
Right. They prompt collagen and elastin. And when you combine peptides with those barrier agents, the synergy is quite powerful. One study showed a 75% improvement on dark circles. That's getting close to retinoid territory for certain issues, but much gentler.
Interesting. Okay, let's shift to the systemic stuff, the supplements, the frontier, as you called it. Some are pretty established, right? Like collagen.
Yeah, oral collagen peptides have GRAS status, generally recognized as safe, good safety profile, but then you get into the more experimental agents. High potential, but high caution too.
Like NMN, the NAD plus precursor.
Exactly. NMN plays a role in DNA repair, which sounds great. But for you, the listener, there are two big hurdles right now. First, we just don't have long-term human safety data. What happens after 5-10 years? We don't know.
And the second hurdle.
The whole FDA regulatory controversy, they're looking at it potentially as a drug, not a supplement, which complicates things.
Okay, caution advice. What about senolytics? Like Physitin?
Yeah.
targeting those zombie cells, the preclinical stuff looked amazing.
It looked phenomenal. Fisetin is a potent flavonoid, but the human data threw up a major red flag. It's a real cautionary tale.
What happened?
So a small human trial found that while it was generally safe, listen to this, 5 out of the 10 subjects actually saw an increase in their biological aging markers.
An increase. It made them biologically older.
On certain markers, yes. It highlights this huge gap between lab research and what happens in actual humans. It might work for some, but it could backfire for others. We don't know enough yet.
Wow. Okay, so wrapping this up, what's the definitive evidence-backed formula today?
Based on solid evidence, it's prevention first, that SPF, then the dual regimen exercise, metabolic control through things like CR if appropriate, and the established topicals retinoids or well-formulated vitamin C, plus proven support like oral collagen, low-risk proven benefits.
And the final thought for everyone listening, maybe rethinking their routine.
It's this. Those really exciting, high-potential molecules like NMN and Fisetin, they're still largely speculative. Think about the critical need for proper long-term human trials before we move them from that high-potential, high-risk category to being proven parts of a longevity plan.
So stick to the proven foundations while the science catches up on the cutting edge.
That's your smartest investment right now. Build that solid base.